Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beyond Crazy. Timothy Beliefnick. When the Beliefnicks of Quincy, Illinois appeared on the long-running game show Family Feud in January 2020, they presented themselves as quite the typical American family. Bow-tied, outwardly goofy dad Timothy Beliefnick helped the family to victory with a cheeky, if somewhat messed up answer to one question. What was the biggest mistake you made at your wedding? His answer is saying I do, which elicited a predictably shocked response from host Steve Harvey via Inside Edition. Timothy quickly offered to convey that he loved his wife, joking, I'm going to get in trouble for that, and he would indeed get into big trouble after the broadcast for a crime that made the silly response seem a heck of a lot like ominous foreshadowing. Matthew Haverly. When a woman's body was found dumped in a creek in quiet, rural Bradford County, Pennsylvania. It wasn't exactly the kind of thing residents of the area were accustomed to. Local man Matthew Haverly, who was interviewed by news station WNEP, said as much before sagging into a bizarre theory of what might have occurred. I think it was kind of a hit and something happened, he said. Something went bad, and this is like a rural area, so they just wanted to plant the bodies somewhere else besides wherever the hell they were from. He didn't go so far as to speculate as to who they might be, perhaps because he knew that the as yet unidentified victim was his mother and that he himself was her killer. Paul Curry. Nuclear engineer Paul Curry was nothing if not a worldly man. Mary Siebold, the best friend of Curry's wife Linda Kincaid, would have occasion to describe him as a man who knew a little bit about everything in life, and indeed, Curry had flexed his knowledge to become a two-time Jeopardy champion. Unfortunately, Siebold offered this description for the Oxygen True Crime series Charmed to Death in an episode focused on how Curry had slowly poisoned Kincaid to death with pure nicotine over the course of 15 months. Kincaid had been hospitalized several times during the pair's brief marriage with unexplained illnesses, and try as they might, doctors were unable to pinpoint the cause. In 1994, Kincaid succumbed to her mystery illness, but with no proof of foul play. Her death remained an enigma until 2002 when investigator Yvonne Shaw got hold of her life. Digging into Curry's past, she discovered that one of his two previous wives had reported symptoms very similar to Kincaid's. A toxicology report which was positive for nicotine despite the fact that Kincaid was a non-smoker was, well, the smoking gun. Curry was arrested in 2010, and in 2014, 2 decades after Kincaid's death, he was found guilty of her murder and sentenced to life in prison. Stephen McDaniel. In June 2011, a horrible fate befell 27-year-old Lauren Giddings, who had recently graduated from Mercer Law School in Mason, Georgia. Just days after the young woman went missing, police found her torso, and only her torso, in a dumpster outside the residence hall at the school. At the moment the grisly discovery was being divulged to the news media, a local television station was interviewing another recent Mercer grad, Giddings' neighbor, Stephen McDaniel. McDaniel was offering up info as to when she was last seen and what type of neighbor she was. When the interviewer told him that police had found the body, a revelation that prompted the man to excuse himself to sit on the ground, starting into space, which was captured by the TV cameras. John Cooper. It took an extraordinary amount of luck and happenstance to put serial killer John Cooper behind bars for murder. The Welshman served 16 years between 1998 and 2014 for armed robbery and burglary, but investigators had long sought to link him to 2 other crimes: the 1985 double murder of siblings Helen and Richard Thomas, who were shot to death in their home, and the 1989 killing of Mary Copple-Peter and Gwenda Dixon, who had been robbed and shot in broad daylight while on vacation in Pembrokeshire, Wales. With very little to connect Copper to the crimes, he might have evaded punishment forever if not for an appearance on a TV game show in between the 2 incidents. Edward Wayne Edwards. In a 1972 episode of the classic game show To Tell the Truth, contestants were tasked with identifying the real Edward Wayne Edwards, an admitted con man and armed robber who he said had turned his back on his life of crime while imprisoned in a federal penitentiary. He had even written a book titled Metamorphosis of a Criminal, which detailed his story. As it turned out, though, Edwards had not reformed himself. Indeed, he would eventually be convicted of crimes which made those for which he had been jailed look positively pedestrian. In a 2018 interview with People, Edwards' daughter, April Balacio, revealed that once she was a child, her father had been obsessed with crime and killers and had often moved them in the middle of the night for no apparent reason. As an adult in 2009, she began investigating cold murder cases in the areas where they had lived and found many that chillingly corresponded with her family's time there. She altered authorities as to her suspicions over one case in particular. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.